Hello and welcome to our fifth and final episode of FleadhFest, coming to you from County Cavan. I hope you've enjoyed what we've brought to you so far. We have a lot coming up on today's programme. We have highlights of Fleadh Cheoil, which took place in Cavan between 2010 and 2012. We'll also be bringing you some snippets and a very special tribute to lilter Seamus Fay. But first, I'm joined by Comhaltas of Cavan Comhaltas, Martin Whelan. A big year 2010 here in Cavan. Tell us what happened.
The first of three All-Ireland Fleadhs came to Cavan after Tullamore had successfully hosted three in a row. Now, when we got it in 2010, we weren't guaranteed anything, but we did a good job and we got the chance of having the Fleadh in 2011 and 2012.
Now that was massive for music, for traditional music. For young and old, it had a huge impact, didn't it, throughout the county?
Absolutely, yes. It was a big boost to the branches in the county, and people that had played music many years before were getting involved again, and their children and grandchildren were getting involved. So we had a surge in classes for Irish music in the branches in the county.
Now tell us, I mean, the Fleadh itself was, you know, a momentous occasion here. Was there sort of a come down afterwards, or did we kind of keep that wave going here in Cavan?
Well, we kept the wave going, yeah. And, you know, the fact that we put ourselves out for another slice of the action, you know, certainly there was no slackening off. And as I said earlier, there was serious interest because people really got to enjoy the whole trad scene and in a more meaningful way, you know.
You became the chairperson of the county group here in 2015. Tell us about that and your time as chairperson. Well,
in 2015 I was elected to the chair of the county board, and I took small steps at the beginning because I wasn't a person that had done much in that position, but I had a great group around me, you know. My secretary, Patsy Cassidy, and Eugene Kiernan was the treasurer, you know, and we had a great bunch working together with us, you know. So bit by bit we got through the different challenges that came along, and, you know, we ran county Fleadhs that were very successful. We had the county Fleadh in Swan-na-Bar for 2 years, and then we had the county Fleadh in Kilnalek for 2 years, and then Belturbet, after 40 years, took it back on in 2019 and had a very, very successful Fleadh.
Well, Belturbet is one that's close to my heart because I shared with you earlier that I went back as an adult learner to learn the harp, following the Fleadhs and inspired by the Fleadhs here in Cavan. Tell us about each branch, you know, how are they doing? So we'll start with, say, Belturbet.
Belturbet have a very good committee, a great bunch of young ladies there that pulled off a great Fleadh, and you know, they're very dedicated, and Flynn's down on the bridge is a very popular haunt for tunes on a Friday night once or twice a month, you know, as well as the classes that they would hold during the week, you know. Mm-hmm. And the other pub that's quite popular too is the Widows, you know, so they all frequent the different venues, you know. But it was a very special Fleadh, the one in 2019. And
that was after 40 years.
Yes.
A town that's really well known, I suppose, for trad would be Killashandra. Killashandra's always had a good tradition of trad music.
Yes, that's very true, you know. And they hold the highest number of county Fleadhs held in a town. I think 16 county Fleadhs were held there. And for sure, yeah, it has a very good pedigree, you know, and you know, there's great stories about Fleadhs in days gone by over a long number of years, you know.
Tell us about then Killincare as well.
Killincare, they joined the surge after the Fleadhs and the Cavan, and they're taking small steps and getting themselves lined up now, so they have a good quorum of young musicians coming along there, yeah.
Mullahoran as well then, it's going too, it's going strong.
Yes, Mullahoran came back into the not that they ever left the fold, but came back on board and got their branch running again in 2014. And they have up to 100 musicians playing in their branch, and some fine musicians. They also have a world champion, brother and sister, Fionn and Enya Higgins, and they've done the branch proud as well,
Martin, we have two very vibrant groups in Cavan town, long established, lots of members. We have, of course, the Nya group with Martin Donoghue, who we were chatting to a few weeks back. We also have the Cavan town Comhaltas. Ed Reevy, that's the big thing for them, isn't it?
Indeed, yes. It's the Ed Reevy Festival. It's run every October, and it's a great tribute to a very prolific musician who created hundreds of tunes. And they're very popular, and he came from out in Mudgebawn, just out the road from Coothill. And his family did visit around the time of the first Fleadh in Cavan at the All Ireland, and we had a bit of a tribute night for them outside in Mudgebawn in the local hall there,
But I also want to talk about Coothill, which is where we are now, and of course one that's very special to your heart.
Indeed, yeah. The branch here is going very well, and we have a good balance between, as we call them, the not so young learners and the young learners. We have an adult group, and it's very popular, and with great camaraderie in the branch. In the music, and it's going from strength to strength. And as well as that, we have the Jerry Whelan weekend, which we've been running every September for the last 15 years, and it's gaining in popularity as well. It's a great weekend. It's a come down from the big Fleadhs, and everybody comes along and enjoys it,
And of course, Gerald Whelan, your dad, was instrumental in setting up an early cultist group here in Coothill.
Indeed, yes. When he came to Coothill back in 1939, there wasn't a whole lot of entertainment going on, but he did find out a few people that had fiddles and whatever, and they joined in music in those early days, or darker days, but as time moved on and things got better, then a branch was founded in 1967 and in the town, and the following year they ran the Ulster Fleadh 1968 here in Coothill.
Wow.
And it was a massive success.
Now look, we've had a quiet year, pubs, bars have been empty. There hasn't been the same, I suppose, musical buzz going around as there would have been in years gone by. It's been a quiet time, but look, are we re-emerging?
We are. Everybody's ready to go. We're pulling at the leash, as I say, to get out and play together again. Even our local branch tomorrow evening will be playing outdoors in town, just a little quiet spot, and there's other branches doing similar outings, and I suppose the Zoom did help us during the darker days, but there's nothing like the live show.
Well, listen, thank you so much for talking to us today, Martin, and best of luck for 2021 and 2022, as we hopefully will get to enjoy lots more trad music in person.
Thank you very much, Karina.
Every parish, every community and every county has a number of jewels or gems in their traditional Irish music scene. Here in Cavan we are blessed with a number of them, but perhaps one of the best known is the lilter Seamus Fay. We've a very special tribute for you now to the man who has earned himself the title King of the Lilters. Take a look at this.
Seamus is a real gentleman, nature's gentleman, a fabulous entertainer, lilter, singer, and lovely company to be in. He has come to our festival on a number of occasions, and he always gets a good applause.
Martin, as they say, Seamus probably didn't lick it off the ground. I think music was in the family.
Indeed it was, yeah. His mother was well introduced to traditional music and lilting, and that's where Seamus inherited his gift, and it is a gift,
Tell us, reaction here in Cavan to Seamus. People love to see him.
Absolutely, he's a gentleman, you know. He's so open and easy to converse with, and you know, I've known him a good number of years now, and I know he was a very good friend of my father's, and they had a mutual respect.
Thanks a million, Martin, for talking to us today. Now we have a special on Seamus Fay, so sit back, relax and enjoy. Well, I've come to this stunning location, Drumlane Abbey and Round Tower, to chat to local historian Suzanne Gunn to find out a little bit more about the history of this hidden gem. Suzanne, tell us, where are we today?
You're all welcome to Drumlane. Drumlane takes its name from the townland of the monastic site situated beside the village of Milton. Drumlane, or Drumlachad in Gaelic, means the broad ridge or hill. The parish is situated between the towns of Balturbid, Killashandra and Ballycondle. It is located in a peaceful setting of picturesque small drumlins and chains of small lakes and the River Erne. The monastic site consists of a church, round tower and monastery. The founder of Drumlane is believed to be St. Columkill. The name of St. Mug is used in close association with Drumlane, but there are many reasons to conclude that the foundation is older than his time. It is believed that the O'Rourke's of the old Breffni, which stretched from Sligo to Kells, gave the site for the monastic site. There are very close connections through the centuries between Cianas, Kells and Drumlane. The Synod of Kells in 1152 saw the creation of the Diocese of Breffni. St Mary's in Drumlane was the centre of major importance where they would have educated the priests.
So tell us about the importance of Drumlane.
Drumlane was a centre of major importance. There would have been the Brock Mug, which was gifted to St Mug by St Malash. It was held in reverence in the monastery here in Drumlane, and people came on pilgrimage. There were two major families of extreme importance that St Mug appointed when he left Drumlane. There were the McGahardens, which were the Earnocks. They took care of the abbey lands and the whole running of the rents and rates that would be paid into the abbey from the abbey lands. And then the O'Farrellys were the co-ops. They would have been responsible for the running of the church.
How important is Drumlane Abbey to people in the parish and in the community now in 2021?
Everybody in Drumlane Parish takes great pride in the monastic site and knows the richness of its history. Back in 2019, I was asked by Comhaltas Breffni to give a talk on the history of Drumlane to a tour guide. They usually have a tour guide each year, an annual one, and I gave a talk, and there was a lot of historians at the talk, and when the talk was finished they were inquiring where maps and different documents were belonging to the abbey, and then we realised that the history we had, Father Cheoil had got from generation to generation, where he got stories from the older generation, but Father Cheoil would have always said that he couldn't stand over the history he had, like it was word of mouth. And then we started, there was always a historical group in the parish, and then we formed a heritage group as well as the It's a history and heritage group. And then we applied for funding because a lot of like-minded people came together and said it'd be great, this is a hidden gem in your community and we should open it up and find out what exact history, true history on Drumlane. So at the moment this week we were fortunate enough to get approved funding by the Heritage Council, the National Heritage Council, and we had a geophysics study all week here at Drumlane.
What does that do, Suzanne?
There was you have to set down grids and you have to scale the whole field, and they carry out different studies with different equipment. And then match up so that they'll know the exact location of all the different sites and whatever findings. So Cavan Barton, who is a geophysics expert, came. He's from Claremorris in Mayo, so he has spent the whole week here, and he's very happy with what he so far. So fingers crossed, it's exciting times.
There was great excitement in 2011 when news broke that County Cavan had secured Fleadh Cheoil na hÉireann. Everyone was hoping and praying that we would secure it for a second year in a row. Little did we think that we would have it for a third. Take a look back at some of the fabulous memories from that time.
the one moe, she the one moe, she the one moe, she Kyla gone out again. She the one moe, oh Irish worry. It's quarter she goes the air, wire go Sharrigan. The vacation steam go shirt the nailings, not oh he got chin, but she on a caroni. Kayak shin steering, no her a coos, nick no she shoe, like Kyla gone out again. Oh, she the one moe, she the one moe, she the one moe, she Kyla gone out again. She the one moe, oh Irish worry. It's quarter she goes the air, wire go Sharrigan. Mustn't to vosa, mustn't to vosa, mustn't to vosa, Kyla gone out again. Tassum not vosa, Martha, she wrote all the stolen chin tarrigan. Oh, she the one moe, she the one moe, she the one moe, she Kyla gone out again. She the one moe, oh Irish worry. It's quarter she goes the air, wire go Sharrigan. Clusham go vosa, clusham go vosa, clusham go vosa, Bercher and Mallishaw. Clusham go vosa, Shawnee Mishwara gets Myrony Kazi. Oh, she the one moe, she the one moe, she the one moe, she Kyla gone out again. Oh, she the one moe, oh Irish worry. It's quarter she goes the air, wire go Sharrigan. Oh, she the one moe, she the one moe, she the one moe, she Kyla gone out again. She the one moe, oh Irish worry. It's quarter she goes the air, wire go Sharrigan.
To finish up today's programme, we're going to take a look back at the Jerry Whelan Memorial Weekend. First up, the adult cultist group from Cootehill. Next up, we have the international trad group Gotcha, who performed during the weekend. Thank you so much for joining us on FleadhFest, coming to you from County Cavan. I hope you've enjoyed the music, song, dance, culture and heritage that we've brought to you over the past 5 programmes. We're really looking forward to hearing some live traditional Irish music in the months ahead. But for now, from all of us here in Cavan, it's bye-bye.